What's up you guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I wanted to talk about my journey to self-love. Everyone has been through that, and there is no secret recipe to getting to the end goal of loving yourself, and this video is really just about my experience.
Had to ask a question, if you happy, girl, I'll change your mind.
When I was in 6e, also French system, CM2 6e, I started developing a big issue with my teeth. I started getting really conscious about my teeth, and not only did I not like how big they were, but I also didn't like that they were not straight. I hated it. They were not straight, they were just pissing me off, so you know, just annoying. My boobs started growing and I was like so excited, and all my friends had their boobs that started growing at the same time, so I was like, oh yeah, you know, we're just all starting to grow our titties and everything, you know? Little did I know, literally. I straightened my hair. I was really obsessed with straight hair because I was fed up of having those little quits. You know, those things that you have when you're a kid, when you have curly hair. I was really happy, I was really excited about it because I was like, ooh, I'm a woman. Whoa. Oh, sorry, if you're a kid with curly hair, if you straightened your hair and you had a perm, you know, you know what I'm talking about. You know. I went to 5e, so I'm arriving to Angola. At this point in my life, all I want to do is be part of something, not be the outcast, not feel weird, just feel like a normal kid that is part of the group, and you know, just, I don't know, belong, I guess. Very sadly, just trying to fit in. I developed a huge issue with how I dressed, and it was one of my biggest complexes for a really long time. The places it began was literally the first day of school. I literally fucked myself over. I come feeling myself, you know, with this you know, the backpacks that you can drag with like the little wheels. I had that, so I was like, yeah, look at my backpack, I'm so cool. And guess what I was wearing? A Winx t-shirt, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be so stylish. And I get there and no one is dressed like that, so I was like, okay, you know, I didn't get the memo. Somebody started bullying me because of my fashion style. Well, there wasn't much style, but still, it was savage. She used to come and like,
what did you wear today?
And I'm like,
you know, it's just lazy.
and she's like,
you're lazy every day.
Bruh.
Like, no chill. It was savage. It really was painful and hurtful, and this kind of led me to develop a quiet, boyish style at school. I was just trying to not look like a baby. Yeah. I was also a late bloomer. I mentioned before that my boobs started growing, but they literally just started and then they never grew again for a really long time. Being a late bloomer in Angola at that time was extremely challenging because people my age looked older, and everyone that was younger than me looked older, so I looked younger than the people that were younger than me. Bruh, I looked very boyish. I had no curves, no tits, nothing. I guess growing up I had a lot of expectations, also because of the movies I watched with all the adults playing kids. You know, just too many standards that I couldn't read. It's nothing you can control, it's nothing you can do. Growing up with a sister with a big set of breasts and you have nothing was very like, it was really weird to compare myself to my sister and try to understand what's going on with my body when it doesn't seem normal, I guess. When you're a late bloomer, you tend to have your period relatively late as well. For a while, I actually was wishing to have my period, and I knew how painful and complicated it could be to have your period, and I was like, oh, I just want my period, please. I just want my period. And then I came to my senses, and I realized that I was being an idiot, and I was really glad not to have my period, but I was still very sad not to have my titties. Just saying. When I actually left the country 3 years later, I came when I was 12, I think, and I left when I was 15, and this neighbor that I had came to me and was like, so how old are you now? And I said that I was 15. He was like, ha ha ha, you're joking.
Impossible.
And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm serious. I'm 15. He's like,
Impossible, you're like 12. Yeah, I'm like 12.
I'm like, no, let me explain. I came when I was 12. I stayed here 3 years and now I'm 15. 12 plus 3, 15. He was like,
Oh. Okay.
and it's not like he didn't see me every day and he didn't know me. Like, we were neighbors. Like, his sisters are my sisters. The fuck? You know? We're that close. Family-wise, it was also challenging because I did get comments. I had this cousin that I really liked. She has a daughter that is a few years younger than me, and she asked my mom,
Why does Moema not have boobs?
like, my daughter is younger than her and she has way more chest. And I'm like, what? Did you seriously just ask why I was flat? So, you know, she could have asked about my grades, how I was doing, but no, she wanted to know why I was flat. When you're a kid, I think nothing prepares you for the first signs of aging. I used to look at them and be like,
Why me? My skin. My bad skin.
so I started having wrinkles on my forehead. Vites, which are the little purple veins on your body. Also started getting stretch marks. Another one was cellulite. I didn't know that anyone could get cellulite, skinny or not.
No, she wasn't ready.
At this point, I was really upset with my body. I really hated myself a lot. I was just trying to change and hoping I would change. I was literally so mad about having small boobs that I was promising myself that if by 16 I didn't get bigger boobs that fit my hand, I would get breast implants. Just so you know, I'm someone who hates pain, who hates needles, who hates anything like that. So I was ready. Technically I wasn't ready, but I was like, so the only good things that came out of those actual horrible years was this booty started growing. And secondly, I actually had a boyfriend towards the very end of that era of pain, and he actually really liked my smile, and it's something that I really disliked. So having someone like it and be like, oh, you have a cute smile, it kind of helped. Although it wouldn't have changed much, it kind of made me feel more comfortable about smiling next to him. One of the big lessons that I learned at that time is that if someone likes you at this point, so basically that was definitely my lowest of lowest, they liked me for me. They liked me, not for my body, but for my personality and my mindset. That and not being superficial or less superficial. I moved countries and I go to high school at this point, and my mindset at that time was really just to learn to love myself and accept myself, because, you know, I've lived 3 years of pure pain and pure hate, and it was time to stop. My motto literally was, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. And that's what I was doing. When I say this motto, I don't mean it literally. I feel like if you're gonna change something about yourself, principally if you're going under the knife, you should really think about it, you know? It's not something to take lightly. Surgery is sometimes life-threatening, and it's a huge procedure and a trauma to your body. My tip is, and what I was implementing really was just love myself, or try to love myself as much as I can. And really, if I fail and I'm not getting to the point where I want to be happy, I do change it. I got braces and it was life-changing. To be honest, I actually really liked having braces. And I actually started smiling more once I got my braces, because I really felt comfortable, because I knew that either way people will notice it. You're gonna use them for a little while and it's gonna be that funny souvenir in your picture book. So I was digging it. I was loving my braces. But yeah, you can't actually not smile with braces. I actually couldn't really properly close my mouth with my braces, so I either smile or they'll show either way. When I removed my braces, guys, I was so upset. I was so disappointed. I had set my standards and my expectations of what my smile would look like post braces so high, and that's because of movies and internet and everything I see, and my teeth are naturally not straight. Even if I have technically straight teeth, my teeth is still crooked, and I'm like so mad. One of my lessons learned is lower your expectations. Did start feeling a bit more womanly in high school, because my boobs, my curves and everything started coming in slightly, slowly but surely. One thing that I was doing that really helped me to accept myself and to love myself more was to stop using filters. You know, those Snapchat filters, those like things hiding your face, hiding your mouth, hiding makeup. I really took like a break from that because I realized I used them all the time. I actually didn't like wearing makeup. Not only do I not know how to put makeup, but I actually never really tried to learn to, because I really wanted to love myself naturally and not hide it, not need something to cover it up, because I know how it feels when you put makeup and then you remove it and you're like, oh, I look so tired today, I look so ugly, and it's just you not accepting the fact of who you are naturally. However, I say this and I did cut the filters and everything. I actually started doing something better, I guess, which is ugly faces. It was my replacement because although I wanted to be natural, I was not ready to fully expose myself. And you know, just in general, when I posted stories, I just didn't want people like, oh, she looks so ugly and she's trying to feel herself. I didn't want to get that negativity or that vision or people seeing me like that. So it was a way for me to be natural yet protect myself from judgment, because if I looked ugly, you couldn't be like, she is ugly. Like, of course I look ugly, that is the purpose of the picture, but you can't tell me I am ugly, because technically it's just a picture. It does take a lot of time to post natural, full face, bare face pictures, but that's what I've been doing, that's what I've really been trying to do. Another thing that really helped me get comfortable were my acting classes. So I took 3 years of acting classes. The reason why it was so challenging and pushed me was because we had to rewatch our tape in front of our little group. It was still a challenge to look at myself in the screen and look at all my imperfections and be like, oh my gosh, all those people are looking at all these flaws and they're seeing how ugly I am. Things that I could notice in the video were my braces, which I loved, but at the same time on tape they just looked horrible. My posture, that was shit. My forehead, my style, my flat chest, or how flat chested I looked. And lastly, what I didn't like was my hair, and I'll get to that in a bit, but my hair was just like, hell no. Watching myself on tape every now and again was so hard. It put me in such an uncomfortable position that, just so you know, the classes were literally once a month or something. I would start getting anxious. I would low-key start having panic attacks, just freaking the fuck out. I knew I would be exposed to my flaws. I would have to face them, and I was not ready for that negativity in my life. So the classes were really helpful because it really pushed myself to expose myself to me and how people see me, and I just had to accept it, because either way people will see you regardless of how you are, so you just have to accept that. But it also helped me in a way that my teacher always pushed me, and he always wanted me to be confident and to own up to my work. So that truly just helped me. I don't know, he was just a great teacher, so yeah. What I wanted to mention about confidence is that it shows. Everyone sees that you don't love yourself, that you don't believe in yourself, that you're not like in it 100. I've never wanted my lack of confidence to appear and be visible, so it's something that I really started working on. Not because I wanted to hide it, but because I didn't want it to show at all, because I didn't want to feel it. So that's very important, guys. We're coming to the end of high school. I've worked my ass off to love myself. I've gotten to the point where I'm really, truly getting there. And all of a sudden, my hair becomes a huge issue. I wasn't maintaining my hair as I should, and then I decided to get braids, and I kept them for 2 months, and I shampooed but never conditioned my hair.
Bruh.
I fucked myself up there. When I removed my braids, my hair looked and felt like straw. Could literally break at any minute and just fall. It was this fucking gusting. Cutting my hair, I knew that it would mean that I would have to go back to natural, and that I would probably have to accept the fact that my hair might never be curly and just puffy. Just a lot to accept in a very short time. I cut my hair and I felt very not sexy at all, and my clothes didn't look good, I didn't feel sexy, and I just felt like all the hard work that I put into loving myself, for my self-confidence, went to shit. Not that I didn't love myself anymore, but I had a new step to overcome, and it was a bit of a challenge. Whenever I took a picture, whenever I posted my hair, I always tried to accept it, because there was nothing I could have done. My hair wouldn't grow in like overnight and be extremely long and luscious and curly. Like, it was suffering from the damage that I put it through. So it needed a bit of a break to be healthy again, and that was my goal. It made me more connected to my roots in a sense, because it caught a lot of attention. I'm an extremely pale person. Not extremely, but for a mixed person, I'm extremely pale. And people would look at my white ass with this fro in the streets, and they would literally stare. And I remember this old dude that was walking, he was like, the closer he got to us, he was like, oh my gosh. And he actually stopped me and was like, is that your real hair? And I was like, yeah homie, it is. And sometimes it makes you feel weird because you're like, oh. But then again, it's only older people. And I did get this older lady at the bus comparing me to this activist, like a Black Panther woman that I found very incredible and I learned about because of her. So it was just very fun and interesting to have an Afro. I just felt like I was representing a lot of people and my culture, and I just liked it. I just like being able to show that side of being mixed, I guess. It was extremely empowering. So university was really just little more steps to go and a lot of fun to have. One thing that really helped me get the extra mile through my self-love journey were photo shoots. I was actually just doing photo shoots because I probably wanted to update my profile pictures and stuff like that. So I just went out with friends, we took each other's pictures. It was just helpful because I was already feeling myself, and those pictures made me feel myself even more. And I was just like, And when I posted them and I got all the love that I was getting, I was like, ah, shit. I'm not saying that do everything for likes and views and comments and validate yourself through those types of means. I was already in a good place, and when I got that affection and attention, it didn't get me dependent in the sense that I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't they like my stuff? I don't care if people like my pictures or
Why didn't you like my last post?
The important part is that I like the picture and that I feel comfortable with it, because change can only come from within if you want it to last. So that is that. Because I had already gone the extra mile with my self-love journey, I was confident and comfortable enough to present myself and make a speech in front of strangers. And I'm not gonna lie, when I raised my hand to volunteer, I was sweating, but I had to do it because I wanted to be my truest self, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be class representative, and that's me being me and being true to myself. And I feel like self-love is also really important because it gets you to that confidence that you need to get to your goals in life and objectives and so forth. You know, I got to university and I felt way more free, and I guess I didn't know what to do with all that freedom. And I decided to make mistakes. Because you gotta learn, you know? You gotta learn. We get to the hard point in the story where university was all fun and games until I started having crushes. So during high school, I didn't really focus on crushes or anything because I was really not ready. I've always believed in loving yourself before you allow someone to love you, because love and relationships and all of that are such a huge weight, and I feel like if people are not ready to put themselves in a position of getting hurt, if they do get hurt, it will damage all the work you put into your self-love, and you'll feel like you're less, and you will depend on relationship to approve of you. And I find that terrible and so demeaning, and I hate it. So I really just didn't want to be that person. However, I became that person. Straight off the first few weeks of university, I got a boyfriend. What a bad idea. He was someone that I wasn't actually thinking of dating, and I started dating because I was like, actually he's way cooler than me, way better looking. Why would he even like me? I'm not even that great. So I degraded myself because, I don't know, I just felt like he was better than me, and that it would be crazy of me not to like such a guy. Although I did start catching feelings afterwards, he cheated, let's just put it like that, and it broke my fucking heart because I was like, oh my gosh, of course he wouldn't like me. He went for this really big titty hot girl. Oh, she got this, she's more pretty or whatever. It's just because you're pointing at your insecurities, that's all. But yeah, I did feel very insecure because he actually chose that person, and because she had those attributes, although she didn't have an ass. That was mean. That was mean, guys. That's bullying. She was a bitch because she knew he was dating and she went for it. So And you know, it really took a toll on my self-esteem and self-love, and I swear that if he hadn't broken up with me, I wouldn't have broken up with him, because he was so great that I should be with him, that I should like him, and I didn't really like him because he wasn't all that great. I was such a fucking fool, and so don't make that mistake. That's that. Love yourself before you love anyone else. Know your value and your worth and set your standards. And the person who actually showed me this was a guy, and he was just there for me and really to love me and to care for me, and he was just always supporting me. He kind of just helped me to walk it like I talk it. Lesson learned is set your standards and don't settle for less.
The sun is coming up again.
Today I fully love myself. I would truly say that, because I feel comfortable with my body, with my acne because I still have it, with my smile although it's still not straight, with my forehead that I love. I am really proud of the person I became today. I wouldn't be today without the adversity that I went through, with all the challenges and with all the people that I met, good and bad, although the bad could have been avoided. So lastly, it's a long and painful road. So if you listen to all the negative comments, you won't make it. You have to listen to your heart. It's so important to go with your guts. You have to expose yourself to your natural beauty. Like, you have to stop seeking approval, likes, views, all those things that I mentioned before about other people's validation. You don't fucking need them. You need yourself. You have to be true to yourself, to what you say, to what you believe in, to how you react. You can't base them on anyone around you. If it's not who you are, don't do it. And I think most importantly, when you're trying to love yourself and doing this journey, don't compare yourself. You really don't. Like, everyone has a different path in life, whether it's anatomical or career-wise and anything like that. So loving yourself will truly help you understand that and not be embarrassed by, afraid, or belittled by anyone else's success. This is my last point. Don't conform to normality, don't conform to labels, don't try to fit in a standardized Barbie box or shape or whatever. You are you, you're unique, and you're beautiful, and you're amazing, and there's no one that does anything that you do. So just go ahead and fucking go for your dreams, go for it, and just be happy. And that's the most important, being happy and being true to yourself. Anyways guys, that's it for today's video. I really hope you liked it. If you did, please like. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and watch the other videos and wait for the next ones. Bye!